chat. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, and we're combating some battle fatigue today. Our counteroffensive is we're going to escape to the great outdoors and enjoy that environment and do some wonderful things for ourselves today. So I appreciate everyone getting on, and let's get started. All right. This is our third coffee chat on the combating battle fatigue concept. And like I said, today we're going to talk about outdoors and skincare. And then our next series or our next week, we're going to talk about managing stress effectively and finding life balance so that we can do things to help offset the stresses and difficulties that are going on right now at this day and age. So again, today we're going to talk about getting outdoors and do all kinds of good. Got some great information for you today. So before we get started, I do want to differentiate between a medical doctor, an MD or DO, and myself, a PhD, a doctor of philosophy and health education. Medical doctors treat patients after an illness has been diagnosed. They use pharmaceutical medicines, they use tertiary care, follow-up protocols to try to manage the person's illness and keep them healthy and well. Whereas my doctorate in health education is really based in behavior and lifestyle change. I want to try to share with people how to manage stress, eat better, get good sleep, get outdoors and have some fun so that they can have a great quality of life and really limit and reduce their likelihood of getting a chronic disease. So there's a difference between the two. We both try to help our people out. We just go about it in a little bit different fashion. So without further ado, let's get after it. I want to say thank you very much to Kangaroo Coffee for being our sponsor today. And it's hot out there. Go try to get yourself an iced coffee. Try something a little bit different. And once again, thank you, Kangaroo Coffee, for supporting us. And if you have any questions, comments, please put that in the chat room or in the chat box, and we'll talk about that at the end of the program. Now, as always, we have a disclaimer. If you haven't been active, if you haven't had an annual physical lately or in the last year, please get that done by your medical doctor so that when you're out having fun in the outdoors, you don't hurt yourself. And one thing I did add to this particular disclaimer is when you're out in the outdoors, try to do your best and leave it in a better condition than how you found it so that we can enjoy our state parks, our national parks for years to come. So what's going on with this combating battle fatigue? What's going on right now? Let's take a snapshot of what's happening in life. We've got COVID going on. We've got city lockdowns, state lockdowns, furloughs, people working from home. We've got parents trying to teach their children schooling activities. We're learning new technology. I'm learning it all the time. We've got a lot of social and political things going on, and fear of the unknown. And I got a question to you all. If you want to submit, what's going on in your life right now? What's got your battle fatigue antennas going up? Because there's a lot going on, and we really have to figure out how to manage these issues. We can't just let them happen because we can get a lot of what's called distress or harmful emotional feedback from the things that are going on. And that again can lead to these chronic diseases that we've talked about. And we don't want that. So life's throwing us a curveball, but how we deal with it and how we manage it is what's really important. So what are your emotions when these things are going on? Let's try to get the best emotion out of it and not a distressful emotion. Now, we can combat our battle fatigue by a number of different ways. We've got a really nice advertisement going on right now, so we want to escape to the great outdoors. And I highly encourage you to do that, because if you don't do these things, you don't receive the benefits of it. And I'm going to share with you some incredible benefits of getting outdoors here in just a minute. So a couple of things, when you get outdoors, what do you like to do? Do you like to go camping? You like to go hiking, ride your ATV, go fishing, canoeing, those kinds of things? And again, in fact, in the chat box, put a couple of things that you enjoy doing in the great outdoors that might not be on the screen. You can share it with some other folks. But getting out in the outdoors, cooking and camping, doing things with your family, yes, it's time consuming, and we may not feel that we have the time to do these things, but reality is make time for it so that you can go out and offset this distress with what I call eustress. Eustress is beneficial stress. It's things that we do so that we get enjoyment out of the activities that we perform. We do a lot of things with our children that are difficult and time consuming, but we do them because we want to see our children be successful. And so make time for some eustressful and beneficial activities. It really helps to offset the stressors of this battling stuff that we got going on right now. So make time for having a good time. Now, let's talk about some of the health benefits. I'd mentioned that a little bit earlier. And like I said, you have to participate in these things to get the gym to generate the benefits. But I think it's time very, very well spent. So let's go over a few things. 20 minutes out in clean, fresh air gives your brain as much recovery time and energy as that iced coffee that I was talking about from Kangaroo Coffee. So maybe you can get outside, get some fresh air, drink your coffee, and get a double whammy of energy boost for your brain. And research suggests that it's a lot easier to be active in the outdoors. The aesthetic effect of smelling trees and grass and flowers, seeing mountain views, a beautiful scenery, all enhances our activity and improves the experience that we have from exercise. So if you can get outside and be active, I encourage that. There's good things coming from that. Research has also shown that direct exposure after surgery reduces pain and pharmaceutical use for people that have just come out of surgery. And that makes sense. We've had hot and cold modalities in physical therapy for years. So if you got a little bit of chronic pain, your hip hurts, get out and get some sun, give it a little bit of massage, and that'll help a little bit without having to take pharmaceutical medication. Now, here's one that I've never seen before, phytoncides, which is it's an airborne chemical. I guess I didn't realize this, but I guess allergy and hay fever has a benefit. But by inhaling some of these things that plants make, our immune system recognizes this allergen or this antigen, and it actually makes a reference and puts it in the immune response library, so that when you run into this particular mold, pollen, whatever it might be, our bodies already have recognized it and can develop an immune response to it, so that where you don't necessarily get sick at all. So like I said, getting an allergy has got a benefit to it. And then lastly, you all probably some know this lavender, some of these aromatherapies really help with sleeping. And there's natural scents out in the forest, flowers, the whole 9 yards, grasses, cut pine. And research has proven that this really helps to reduce the stress response. It calms the nerves. And it's a great non-drug way to, again, give your mind a reboot and really improve your day-to-day activities and so forth. So a couple more. Studies show that people that get out and backpack and get away from the grid, so to speak, get away from their electronic devices, actually improve their creativity and their mental outlook by over half, a significant amount. So I know that we all work on our computers and our phones and so on, but it really is good to get away from them, and the outdoors is a great place to do it. You may have heard of a thing called seasonal affective disorder, which is actually brought on by people that don't get enough outdoor activity, and symptoms such as anxiety, exhaustion, sadness, insomnia. We talked about these in last week's coffee chat, and they're a result of really not just getting out in the sun. So getting out in the sun can do you some good. The vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, very important. It helps with calcium absorption. That's important for women, osteoporosis. And just getting some sun can help your body absorb calcium a lot more readily. And I encourage that. And then last one, I guess, was psychological studies show that getting out and about in the outdoors actually reduces society's pressures on us. It allows us to focus on our relationships, our children, our family, community. And that's a good thing. Interacting well with others is a really nice thing. And the outdoors advocates that. It's a synergist to having good times. So with that, I encourage you, get out and get outdoors, because if you don't do it, you don't generate the benefits that the outdoors can bring you. So now with that, real quickly, I want to tell you a little bit about skin, because when you're outdoors in the sun, your skin is really the main, one of the main resources to help stop the damage that ultra UVA and UVB radiation can be. And that comes from the sun. You've probably heard of melanoma. It's a malignant kind of skin cancer, squamous and basal cell carcinoma. Those all generate from the dermis and the epidermis that you see here in this picture. And what melanoma is, it's actually a malignant disease where it can spread and metastasize and go to other parts of your body. And we don't want that at all. But our skin, it's really important. It's the largest organ in our body. It weighs about 9 pounds. When we were talking about protein in one of our previous coffee chats and how important that is, your skin is made of protein and it's constantly regenerating. And you can see that in our little interesting skin facts. And so you have to eat protein, quality protein. It's got all your essential amino acids so that your body can regenerate itself. Because again, as we age, it's constantly metabolizing and we need to regenerate that. And nutrition is absolutely the way to do it. So now, real quick, some skin cancer facts, because you do want to keep a good eye on your skin, especially if you were younger and you got sunburned a number of times. Now, moles are a great advocate, or not advocate, but a great way to kind of keep an eye on your skin health. And we've got the A, B, C, Ds, and E's of moles. And I want to go over those real quick. The first one is an asymmetric mole, where maybe it's elevated on one side and it's flat on the other. Keep an eye on a mole like that, because the asymmetry is a risk for one of the 3 types of cancers that I mentioned. Irregular borders, you can see that real clearly. The one on the right, there's no uniformity to it. It's just all over the place. And that in and of itself, again, is a risk. So color can also influence. Most moles have the same color, but if you start seeing blues and whites or clear or cream colors, that's a big indicator. And I would encourage you to get with a dermatologist. That's a medical doctor who specializes in skincare, and have them take a look at that. Because a lot of these you can burn off and use other treatments besides surgery to get them out, especially if you get them fast enough. And identifying skin cancer early on is really, really important. Again, if a mole is greater than about the head of the end of a pencil eraser, keep an eye on that one. The size of it can influence it. And then an evolving mole, a mole that hasn't been there, but in the last couple of years you've seen it grow. Keep an eye on that one too. But again, skin cancer is the most common cancer, but it's also one of the most easily treatable if you get it early. So take a look at that and keep an eye on those moles. Now, real quickly, I want to mention some ways to keep your skin in the best shape it can be. And first of all, try to avoid sun exposure between 10 and 4. That's when UVA radiation is the greatest. Always use sunscreen that has a minimum skin protection factor of at least 30. And even though it might be cloudy, put that stuff on, because UVA goes right through the clouds. And apply heavily. Don't apply lightly. Putting more on is better than less. And make sure that you cover your skin really well with that. And if you sweat or you go swimming, put that on even more than every 2 hours. And again, like I said, covering your skin is great. Wear loose-fitting clothing. A floppy hat might be a good thing. And then stay hydrated. Get great sleep. We talked about that last time. Try to minimize alcohol, and don't use tobacco at all. That really seems to cause premature wrinkling of the skin, aging of the skin. And you can see examples there on the right-hand side of what can happen if you take care of yourself and you don't take care of yourself. So real quick, I want to show that we just threw out our little prize package, and participating in coffee chats, posting stuff on our Facebook page, attending the Trailblazers Trails In program. All that can earn you points, and we've already got a couple people that have earned some points. So take a look at your email that we sent out on that, and earn some healthy habits swag. I look forward to that. We're keeping track of your points, and we'll let you know when you earn some points. And then finally, again, I want to say thank you. Shout out to Dave Campbell from HR and Risk Management. He joined us. Just doing this little Trailblazers Trail In shoot every Wednesday from 3 till 8:30. You can actually go to the Trails In location there on Colorado, and you can bike, hike, or run, and get credit. And after 8 credits, or after chiming in 8 times, you can earn a really cool shirt through the program. So get on out there. And on the 15th of July, we're going to have a VIP program. We're going to have Randy G out there. We're going to have a lot of people from the corporate communications department out. We're going to try to have a good time promoting this because this is one of our sponsoring programs, and want to make sure you encourage and get on out there. So that's kind of what we have today. Obviously, I've got some comments, a lot of comments in the chat room. I'd like to kind of go to those real quick. We've got some folks, people like to hike and gardening. That's great outdoor activity. Woo, 5 miles a day hiking, Diane. Hey, can you do a mile for me, please? And then fishing, hiking, camping. I love to get a wet line. In fact, they've opened up the state parks, but do keep in mind you have to have your ID card with you. Anyone over 18, they're going to be checking on that. Oh, fly fishing. That's a good time too. My favorite outdoor activity is playing rock and roll for the Sofa Killers out on the stage. Maybe that would I might be doing. But great stuff you got going on, folks. I appreciate that. And then, like I said, next week we're going to talk about stress management directly in our VCC. We're going to talk about distress and eustress more. Looks like we got one more comment. I'd like to see that. Fork to mouth exercises. Yes, eating. It looks like we've got a lot of COVID poundage going on. So that stated, we're going to be opening up the gyms here pretty soon. And if you want some fitness training, I know a guy that's pretty good at it. So once again, thanks again. If you've got a topic you'd like to cover on the virtual coffee chat, please send that to me. And had a great time talking with everyone today. The chats are still coming in. So thanks again, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.